Hello, my name is Shanika Wilson, and I would like to speak to you about the culture and continent that I have chosen, and it's Africa. And it's one of the second largest countries, of course, next to Asia. It is offshore. It has an offshore island by the name of Madagascar. It does have numerous large rivers. An example, you have the Nile River, you have the Congo River, as well as the Orange and the Limpopo, and so on and so forth. 6% of Africa does equal out to be the Earth's surface. It has 61 territories, and it accommodates for about 14.8 of the human population. It does have large climatic zones that are controlled by the continent, of course. There are 6 general climatic regions. The economy for African and as well as the African population is rural. Except for the cash crops. They do offer 3/4 of the world's cocoa beans that we get, as well as a third of all the peanuts that we all have here in America. But still, the agricultural stance of Africa is still low by some standards. Okay, I'm going to speak a little bit to you about the European domination that happened at about the 15th century. Apparently, Portuguese explorers off the coast would come in and they would try to trade items such as gold, ivory, even slaves, unfortunately. The explorations of the 18th and 19th century reported of great natural wealth of the continent while capturing the imagination of some of the Europeans. So, I'm going to talk to you about their movement towards independence. Some unions, they had a union with South Africa that was formed, and virtually it was self-governing, and that started at approximately 1910. After World War II, there was a rise in the international trade, of course, again, back to the cocoa beans and the peanuts, ivory, so on and so forth. France and Britain, they had started a campaign for Africa to actually help with the education and with the investment infrastructure. What they try to do is get the children to get more education, more schooling, more health care, more so to help them out with some of their needs from day-to-day basis. They did have a post-colonial period. That's where they needed aid for their natural resources, again, education, and just to improve their standards, the way they were living. Okay, so the African nation established an organization called the Organization of African Unity, and that began at about 1960. Not far after that, they did go through a drought, which is started about 1962 to 1970. And of course, with a severe drought, it did bring on terrible diseases, a lot of environmental destructions, as well as thousands of deaths. So from 1975 to about 1990, they experienced a political, social, and economic upheaval. Okay, other African nations introduced demonic reforms in the late 1980s and 1990s, and what they did was that included multi-party elections, transitions, and I'm so sorry. They had elected leaderships through the Democrat. So I'm just going to put it like that. So this is just an overview of Africa and some of the things and the trials and some of the things that they have went through as far as having drought and as far as having diseases, but also being able to trade and have England and France also help them out. So I really hope that you learned something from this presentation. And again, my name is Shanika Wilson, and I thank you for your time and your consideration. Thank you.